asked me, I could write a book about the way you walk and talk and whisper and look.
Celebrity sightings. While working in theater, I was constantly going to other shows and plays, obviously. One favorite was O. Coward, a review of Noel Coward's songs. His verbal dexterity, his infectious tunes, along with his lethal wit and queenly delivery, had won me over when I first heard him in college. This show was nirvana for me, and I went often, a circumstance aided by being friends with the house manager. He insisted that I come on opening night, as if he had to convince me. He was excited, almost giddy, when I got there, and he led me to my seat in the 10th row on the aisle. As the house filled up, just 2 empty seats remained right in front of me. As the house lights began to fade, there was a rustle at the door as my friend led 2 people slowly down the aisle. This was very unusual because an usher would normally perform that function, but I soon discovered the reason. There, sitting directly in front of me, were Noel Coward and Marlene Dietrich. My friend walked back up the aisle, but not before he whispered in my ear, "You owe me." At the end of the show, as I stood up to leave, I mumbled a bit to the 2 icons after my friend introduced us. Hopefully I managed to convey my love for their work, but who knows what palaver emerged from my mouth in their presence. I would be equally tongue-tied at another off-Broadway show, a new Tennessee Williams play called Small Craft Warnings, which had opened off-Broadway to very mixed to negative reviews. I loved it and went a few times. It was a play in which structure and mood ruled. Not much happened, but the way it happened was mesmerizing. A motley crew of tragic characters gathered at a seedy rundown bar on the California coast to commiserate about their lives. A trailer park beautician who plays Tchaikovsky on the jukebox, her shady lover, an alcoholic doctor who had lost his license but continues to practice and care for these lost souls, a beautiful but trampy sex kitten out for what she thinks is a good time, a short order cook trapped in his job, a fake friendly bartender, and 2 gay men, an older washed up screenwriter and a young idealistic bicyclist that he has picked up. At some point in the show, each character steps out of the action and into a spotlight, leaving the rest of the actors frozen in place, and delivers a monologue, sometimes touching, sometimes searing, revealing the loneliness and pain that fills their lives. I need to direct this show sometime. I even put a few of the monologues into a couple of cabaret shows over the years. During the play's run, the actors playing the Doctor and the Tramp left the show. In a bit of inspired stunt casting, Tennessee Williams himself took the role of the Doctor, and the Warhol transsexual superstar Candy Darling, whom I had met a few times with Holly Woodlawn, stepped in as Violet the Tramp. Williams was quite touching, his body frail and his voice weak, but capturing the sadness and self-loathing that he had created in the character. Candy was simultaneously trashy and ethereal, as always. To my knowledge, it was the first time a transgender woman played a female role in a play with no mention made of it. Candy was so stunningly beautiful that if you didn't know, you wouldn't know, and many in the audience never realized. I was like a wide-eyed tourist waiting at the stage door after the show. I ran from my seat to be the first in line. Out came the playwright, and I froze. I barely got out congratulations and shook his hand before he moved to the next fan. But I had shaken the hand that had written A Streetcar Named Desire and Suddenly Last Summer.
Two lovers are to make, two lovers are to make, two lovers are friends.